Hey, hi students. How are you all? Welcome back to all of you. Again, today we are going to start our third part of nationalism in India. Earlier, we discussed about non-cooperation movement and differing strands. Okay, so in this part, we are going to discuss about second biggest movement, that is civil disobedience movement. So you must understand this. Actually, civil disobedience movement is a way of fighting. Okay, means earlier also before non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji was fighting with this method. Okay, but to captivate, to attract more and more attention, he launched this civil disobedience movement. Okay, so it is one of the most important movement of India, in which we not only non-cooperate with Britishers, but here one step we moved forward. How? In non-cooperation movement, we decided that we will not cooperate with Britishers. Okay, but in civil disobedience movement, we moved to one step ahead and we decided that we will not cooperate with Britishers, as well as we will break the rules, but it should be peacefully. We will not obey them. Okay, so this was the idea of Gandhiji, and how it started. What was the impact of this? Was it successful or not? Which activities were done by the people in this movement? Okay, and what was the result of this? All these things we are going to discuss in this part. Okay, chalo fine, let's move forward. Yeah, see, what was the reason behind launching civil disobedience movement? That we should understand first. Okay, in Congress there were two parties now. When non-cooperation movement was called off by Gandhiji after Chauri Chaura incident, then there was again necessity of launching a big movement in which all the Indians they should participate in the movement. Okay, but in Congress itself, now there were two parties, two ideologies. One ideology, they were thinking, there were some members, for example Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru, they wanted to participate election. Earlier we had seen that how they boycotted the election. They wanted to participate in election. Okay, but there were some people, those who wanted complete freedom first and then elections. Okay, so in this party, we can call them moderates, though they were Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru. They wanted to participate in elections, whereas Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, they were kind of radicals in Congress. They wanted to continue mass agitation to gain complete independence. So there was conflict and Swaraj party was set up. Okay, so in this way, by Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru, Swaraj party was set up. There was another reason to launch this movement. As 1929 was going on and there was great depression in New York. Okay, Wall Street, market of Wall Street, it completely collapsed and it directly affected the world, because of which export of India it declined. We were not able to export anything. That's why agricultural prices fell and collapsed after 1930. Due to this decline, exports farmers were not able to export anything, and definitely if they are not able to export, if they are not able to sell, how they will get income? And they were not able to pay the revenue. Okay, that was the problem with farmers. Third reason, the political reason behind it was Tory government. They formulated statutory commission under Sir John Simon, in which no Indian member was taken. First of all, we should understand what exactly Sir John Simon. You might have heard about it, the slogans. When Simon Commission came to India, people of India, they started shouting. They were giving slogans. You might have seen many posters, photos of this. They were writing, Simon Commission, go back. Why were they saying so? What was the reason behind it? First, let's try to understand this. See, in 1999, British government formulated one act, Government of India Act 1999. Oh, sorry, 1919. Sorry, Government of India Act 1919. in which they stated that henceforth constitution will be drafted for India, according to which India will be governed. Okay, that was decided in that. To review this, all is going on well, everything is okay with the constitution. Any problem with this? What is the feedback of this constitution? To see that, to review that, they sent one commission here in India. There were 7 members in this commission, and Sir John Simon was heading that commission. But the problem with this commission was there was not a single member in this commission. All 7 members, they all are Britishers. They came to India to review Indian constitution, and there was not a single Indian political member in this commission. That infuriated the Indians. Okay, that's why they protested, saying Simon Commission go back. So when Simon Commission came in India in 1928, they were greeted with slogan Simon Commission go back. Okay, then after this, in October 1929, Lord Irwin offered Dominion status and invited Indian members to Round Table Conference. Okay, first we'll try to understand this, what is Dominion status and what is Round Table Conference. See, Dominion status means, for example, at that time it was given to Canada also. What is a Dominion status? According to Dominion status, some departments will be held by the natives of that country, and some departments will be held by ruling government, ruling country. Okay, for example, all the rules and regulations, internal matters will be operated or regulated by the natives of that specific country, but defense, foreign affairs, then communication with other countries, all these important departments will be held by ruling country, means Britishers. By Britishers it will be held. This is called Dominion status, and it was definitely was not accepted by Indian members, Congress members, and Gandhiji also. That's why, as it was not getting solved, Round Table Conference was going on. See, what is Round Table Conference? From 1930 to 1932, in these 3 years, 3 Round Table Conference were held. It was done as per the request of Ali Jinnah. Okay, he said that we will discuss about the Indian Constitution, what changes we can bring in that, how we can modify that. To discuss about it, there were some members from India. Many members went for this Round Table Conference. Many Maharajas, they went for this conference. Okay, so the 3 Round Table Conferences were held in London. Okay, out of which, for second Round Table Conference, Mahatma Gandhi was present. He attended that meeting. Okay, but it was felt, that we'll see afterwards. So these 3 Round Table Conferences were held to discuss about the Indian Constitution. Okay. रुद्र काय रे, काय तू इकडे येऊ नको बरं. Lord Irwin requested Gandhiji to attend this Round Table Conference, second Round Table Conference. Okay, that we'll see afterwards. In December 1929, Lahore Congress session was held. As you know, every year Congress sessions were held at different places. It was in Nagpur, then Lahore, many places it was held. And in December 1929, it was held in Lahore, in which all the radicals, they came together and they were talking about demand of complete independence. British government should give complete independence to India, and that's why they decided that 26 January 1930 was declared to be celebrated as Independence Day. Okay, So it was declared, but it was not, there was one drawback with this. It was not popularized that much and it gained very less attention. That's why Gandhiji was a hero at that time, isn't it? So until and unless Gandhiji take lead in this, it will not become popular. So what to do to get the attention of the people? So he launched Salt March. So there was need of Salt March, and in this way, with this point, with the Salt March, our civil disobedience movement starts. Okay, so here now we are going to discuss about civil disobedience movement. Actually, this was prologue of civil disobedience movement. What were the reasons behind civil disobedience movement that we discussed here? Now we'll see actually what civil disobedience movement was. Yeah, see, when civil disobedience movement was launched, what was the sequence of this? That we'll see first, how it was launched. Okay, earlier we saw that in 1929 December, Lahore Congress session was held, in which it was decided that 26 January 1930 will be celebrated as Independence Day. But as it didn't get that much attention from the people, that's why there was a need of there was a need to start something which will attract the people. Okay, so Gandhiji went to Lord Irwin and he put his 11 conditions, 11 demands in front of Lord Irwin, who was then Viceroy of India. So when Gandhiji put his 11 demands, what were these 11 demands? We are going to see it afterwards. But one that is important for us, it is about salt. That Indian people, they should have right to sell, to produce and use salt without any tax, because it is a natural commodity. It is not being produced. That was the demand of Gandhiji out of these 11 demands. So 12 March, Salt March was initiated. It started from Sabarmati Ashram of Gandhiji, from Sabarmati to Dandi. It was the distance of 240 miles. So it was decided that every day we will cover 10 miles. So in this way, within 24 days from Sabarmati to Dandi, they reached. When they started from Sabarmati, there were only 78 volunteers. See, it is very interesting. When Gandhiji was moving village to village, definitely after 10 miles he is going to halt, he is going to stop somewhere. So when he used to stop there, as I told you, Gandhiji was hero at that time. He was a celebrity. People used to come and meet him. Okay, so when people used to meet him, it was told to Gandhiji, Gandhiji was ordered that he should not speak anything about nationalism, which will raise fury or anger in the minds of the people against British government. It was told to Gandhiji that he should not speak so. So whenever Gandhiji was walking and he used to stop, people used to meet him. So he would give the lectures to the people about Ramayana, Mahabharata. Okay, and in this way, Gandhiji was awakening the people, and he was just moving towards Dandi. So it took 24 days to reach Dandi. On 6 April, they reached at Dandi, and salt law was violated, and it was the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji produced some salt there, and legally we can say, or in front of many people, he just broke that law, and it was the beginning of civil disobedience movement. When it began, what exactly activities were being done at that time in the civil disobedience movement, that you can see here. In this yellow box, you can see activities of protester throughout 1930. First of all, salt law was broken at many places and people started making salt. Foreign cloth was boycotted. Liquor shops were picketed, as it was also done in non-cooperation movement, you may remember. Peasants refused to pay tax. This is disobedience. Then forest laws were violated. Again, this is disobedience. As you know, there were some forest laws in which Adivasis, those who were living in forest area, they were prohibited to enter in forest. But people started moving towards and moving in the forest. They just violated the laws. Abdul Ghaffar Khan arrested in April 1930. Okay, so he was one of the popular figure in our national movement. In this movement, Gandhiji was also arrested in May, and against this there was a protest in Solapur, and the people of Solapur, they attacked on government buildings as a protest against this. Almost 1 lakh people were arrested in this moment as they started violating the laws. When all this was going on, finally Lord Irwin calls Gandhiji for meeting him to solve this problem mutually. So when Gandhiji went to Lord Irwin on 5th March 1931, there was Gandhi-Irwin Pact, and after this pact, movement was called off, and Gandhiji gave consent to attend round table conference. Okay, but what was this Gandhi-Irwin Pact, isn't it? So let's see some aspects of this Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Okay, what happened according to it? According to this, first of all, Gandhi said, those who have not done any violence, please relieve them from the jail. Then you should give permission to produce and use salt without any tax. Okay, so this was the demand of Gandhiji. To which Irwin replied that we will give this permission to you, but we also have one condition, that you have to attend round table conference. And Gandhiji gave consent to it, and finally he went to second round table conference in London. Okay, so in this round table conference, what happened? Let's see. This round table conference started in November 1930, and it was second round table conference which started in November 1931 and continued till January. Okay, so Gandhiji went for this conference in December 1931. When Gandhiji went there, there are many incidents which are very interesting about this. For example, Gandhiji was invited for dinner by the Queen, and there was etiquette, some manners. As you know, British people, they are so much worried and specific about the manners. The etiquette was, you must come in suit and boot for the party, for the dinner. But Gandhiji said, if you want me in suit and boot, I will not come for the dinner. But as you know very well, until and unless Gandhiji agrees the demands, round table conference will never become successful. So to maintain this, he still, without these manners, he was called in that dinner. And when Gandhiji went there, the party was going on, everything went smoothly. So you can see this, how Gandhiji, because of his obstinacy, changed the way of seeing the world as per the Britishers. Okay, chalo fine. So what happened in round table conference? In round table conference, they were talking about the minority of the people, the Indians, those who are in minority, what to do with them, isn't it? So the way of the ratio that they were talking about the minority and the population was not digested by Gandhiji. He didn't like it. Okay, and they were also not ready to give complete independence to India. As we discussed about the dominion status, they were ready to give dominion status to India. So, and there was demand of Babasaheb Ambedkar to give separate electorate. Okay. So, in this way, when these 2-3 demands were completely rejected by Gandhiji, and second round table conference was failed, and finally he came back to India. When he came back to India, he was completely disappointed. In December 1931, Gandhiji went to London, negotiations were failed, and he came back to India. When he came back to India, he saw new cycle of repression. Britishers again started repressing these people. They captured many political leaders. They just sent them into prison. Many people were jailed, and they were just torturing our people because there was no leader. And there was, when Gandhiji came back and he saw this, again he relaunched civil disobedience movement. So you will understand from this there are two phases of civil disobedience movement. First phase is before second roundtable conference, and second phase is after second roundtable conference. Okay, but when Gandhiji relaunched it in when he came back and he relaunched civil disobedience movement, it lost its momentum. Why it lost its momentum? There were many reasons behind it. The people, those who were participating in this, for the purpose they participated in this movement, it was not fulfilled. But still, it was Gandhi-Irwin Pact took place, and civil disobedience movement was called off. That's why they were somewhat disappointed. What was their demand? What was their self-interest? Why they participated in this movement, and how it not completed? How their self-interest was not completed? Who were those people? Those who were not interested in this? All this we are going to see in our fourth part of this lesson. Actually, it is in third part only, but in our video we will see it in fourth part. Okay, so here we will stop. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.